Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to speak to you today. For me, Smile just seemed to capture the things that I remember from watching horror films when I was younger, whether Stephen King's It or The Ring.
Yes.
But then kind of brought in that perhaps more contemporary idea of using the genre as a way to kind of explore ideas of trauma and mental health, and particularly the female experience of it. So I wondered what the appeal was for each of you when you first read the script, and of course working with Parker.
Yeah, I think that's very true, and I agree with everything that you said, and I think that it really went into because I do think it's somewhat of a trope, right, to have a scared girl running from screaming, whatever, but this her own experiences and her own mind sort of are the not the reasons, but they anchor the monster, and the monster isn't as sort of the monster is just as important as her monster and her demons. And I think that that's rare to really get in there with the lead who's supposed to be scared the whole time, right? So I like that. And also I'm really bad at reading scripts. I'm bad at visualizing things, so it's mostly I go off feeling. And I did get a pretty intense feeling from reading this. And then as well, Parker's other shorts really solidified that he could tell this story visually in a really interesting way, which is so it's such a good way to go into something knowing that they've got you on that end.
And for you too, Jessie?
Well, to add, that was very well said. I think to add, I was interested in seeing someone who is an expert in something having to deal with the receiving end of something that she knows so well. So, having Rose be in a position where she's dealing with patients who are now or who experience something that she is now experiencing, and although I feel just me as a person, I would look at someone who has that level of expertise as almost a professional in terms of dealing with it. But when it's happening to them, are they just as good at dealing with it as they are with people who, are their patients? And that question kind of just gets explored in this movie, and I really liked it.
What drew us to this?
Right.
He forgot the question.
I literally forgot the question.
I
was listening to Sosie's answer and I forgot the question.
The appeal from the outset for you, and I guess it's interesting, the two male characters kind of playing off, the relationships are quite contrasting. So the connection that you have with Rose is very different to Jessie's character.
Because I was going to get so much attention.
I get so much love.
No, I think there was a lot to play. The script was great. Everything Sosie said about her character is what I found very kind of compelling and interesting about the film. And I think actually, just to hit a point of what you're saying right now, I think there is sort of, the female trope of being running and scared. I think what's cool right now is there sort of is a bit of a renaissance of strong female-led horror films. You got Hereditary and Midsummer and things like that. It's a pretty cool time right now. There's a lot of, there's a lot of good storytelling happening, which I think is cool. It wasn't to knock your shit. I get it. I'm just saying, you're in there, and I think is badass. But there was just a lot of really good stuff, and talking to Parker and hitting on the short films. There's not really much more for me to say. These guys kind of covered everything. I really like Joel and the relationship that he has with Rose, and we had a nice time building that relationship and coming up with their backstory.
The relationships were very specific.
And you're right. The relationships are very, very different between the two characters.
Love triangle.
I think I'm out of time, but thanks so much for sharing all that with me. And I saw it in the cinema, and I didn't sleep that night, so you've definitely done something right.
We're robbing everyone of sleep. That's sad. So important.
Thanks so much. Lovely to chat to you.
Supposed to?
Thank you.
Take care.